Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. In today's video, we're taking a look at the first pass we've completed on the bridge signal box. This cool Mills module is based off of a set of instructions that I purchased from Bricks on Rails. Really happy with how this structure is coming together, but there are a number of changes that I've made in the process of putting this together based on, thinking about how best to transport the module, looking at parts I had on hand and some other things that sort of came to me as I was putting this model together. So we'll cover those and talk a bit about where I want to go with this particular Mills module in the future. So let's dive in and take a closer look at this awesome bridge signal box. So as I mentioned, this bridge signal box is based off of a set of instructions that I purchased from Bricks on Rails. Really love the models they have on their website, a number of great buildings and train instruction sets for sale. And this is one that I've been looking at for a while that I thought would be an excellent addition to both our layout here in the Lego room, but also would be a cool sort of structure to take out to train shows and Lego shows to display as part of a layout. Now, with the instruction set, the required number of pieces was 962, and the designer of the model and person who put the instruction set together is M. Lautz. Really awesome work here. I think this was, an awesome structure. And as you can see here, I have made several changes from the original model. Taking a look here, one of the first things you'll notice is that I added an extra floor to the bridge signal box. And the reason for that was to make sure that I would have enough clearance between the bottom of the bridge and any trains that were passing by below the structure. So you can see here we've got one of our Union Pacific cars underneath the bridge structure. Plenty of clearance. Prior to the change, the bridge would have been coming across about right here. So you can see the Union Pacific would have fit fine underneath, but some of our larger trains, especially ones that have any sort of electrical connections on top of them, would have either been a really tight squeeze or may not have fit at all. And, especially since I want to take this structure out to shows and to display it in group layouts, I really wanted to make sure that there was going to be no issues with clearance when it came to both my trains passing underneath it, but also anybody else in the group who was running trains. So, I'm pretty happy with how the third floor worked out. I think that the overall structure still looks really nice with that extra floor. And, it was not a particularly hard change to make. Now, for the first pass at this bridge signal box structure, I put this together with parts that we already had in our collection. That made it a lot easier to sort of prove out the overall structure, makes it so that I can use this awesome building in our layout and out at shows much quicker than I might have otherwise been able to. But as a result of that, there are a few changes to the way the overall building looks. So the first thing you'll notice if you look at the picture that they include with the instructions is that I changed the facade of the building to use the masonry bricks. I thought this looked a lot nicer. I like the added texture that brings. And I mixed in a combo of the dark gray and the dark tan bricks. I thought that worked well, looked nice as a color combination, and added more texture and sort of interest to the structure from a distance. There are a few things with that I will probably change as I get some of the parts that I've ordered in. There are a few spots where you can see I've got, sort of off color bricks and plates in the structure that don't necessarily line up with that color scheme. And I will go back and fix those. I don't think it'll be too bad to go and swap out those parts after the fact. But with that, I think the brick was a nice choice to go with. I think it makes sense for a structure like this. It's not unreasonable to think that a structure could have been built with brick like this. And like I said, I really like the texture and sort of visual interest that adds to the building, both up close and far away. Now, another change along those lines, you'll notice the different style of windows they have on the top level of the signal box. I went with these brown windows that I already had from the warehouse build. I thought these looked nice. I think they give a very nice sort of view to the interior, and a nice sort of detail on them with the bank of 6 here, which kind of gives you a bit of the feel that you get from the bank of 3 in the original instruction set. So I'll see how these go. My intention at the moment is to leave these windows in place. I think they're cool. I think they work well with the structure, but I'll see how it sort of grows on me and how it feels over time as I look at the model with those windows in. It would not be bad to go back later and swap those out if I wanted to. It's really easy to access that part of the model. But I think this achieves the overall sort of goal and look for this top layer while working with pieces that I had on hand. You'll also notice a few other spots where there's some mixed-matched colors. So on the support structure on the side here, I didn't have, the light gray or the dark gray in all of those particular pieces. So mixed in a few different colors. I think it actually works fairly well. I will fix those up once I get parts ordered and into the Lego room here that I can use for updating that. But in the meantime, not too displeased with how that looks. And, like I mentioned, you can see that, it happens over here with this light gray version of the inverted slope brick there. And then there's another white inverted slope over there. Just a few little pieces just to, make sure that I can get the structure up and running. And then I can, fairly easily go back and swap those out later. The big part of the structure that I'm still waiting on parts for is the roof. I might make a first pass at the roof with things that I've got on hand here, but that was the part of the structure that required the most of some parts that I did not have in quantity in the Lego room. So that is why it does not have a roof on at the moment. Things that I would like to change up in the future for this structure, I would like to make it easier to access the different floors of the building. It would be nice if the top of the signal box, this bridge area, was one unit that you could easily lift on and off. That would make it a lot easier for transporting to and from shows. And with that, it would be nice if you could pull off each of these intermediate floors as well, just like you would in a modular building. I think that should be fairly doable. I'll need some more parts for that and probably a bit more time to sort of go through and think out how to reallocate some of the parts in here to allow for that connecting layer to exist in there. But, I think that would add a lot to the overall structure in the future. With that, it would also make it easier to go in and add interiors. I don't really have much in the way of interiors at the moment. You can see the top of the signal box is empty. There is a staircase on each of these floors leading up to the floor above. And, the instructions cover different elements that you can add. There's all the different levers inside here for, different track options that are being configured from the signal box or signals that are being triggered. I think those are cool, and I will get those added in. Not entirely sure if I want to go with the sort of office-like interiors of these, the different floors in this tower part of the signal box, but if this was treated more like a modular structure, it would be a lot easier to make those changes and just a lot easier to transport the build. On the subject of transporting the build, I have not had to move this very far yet, so I'm not entirely sure how stable it's going to be. I've made a few changes to sort of aid in the moving of the structure. You can see here I've added a little bit of extra sort of ground, grass terrain over top of the connection points of the Mills modules. My intention is to move the 3 half base plates all as one unit. And I've also gone and made some changes underneath. I've added an extra sort of plate here, an extra little bit of support on the joins for the various plates that make up this this floor for the bridge area, just to make sure that it's reinforced and doesn't have any issues. There's a decent amount of weight on this bridge area when you've got all those different parts there, especially as I was going through and doing the building. So, I think that extra little bit of plate will help give things, some extra structure and support. And, with that, I'm kind of hopeful that this won't be too bad to transport. It'll be interesting to see. I've got a show coming up that I'm going to take this out to, and that'll be kind of the trial run for how easy it is to pack up, move, and sort of get on, ready for display. Once I make those changes to make this more like a modular building so that each floor can be removed, this should become a real easy module to take to and from shows. So we'll see how the first one goes, but after that, I think we can make this much, much easier to transport to and from shows, which will be nice. Now, one of the other things that I talked about when I covered this instruction set initially when I purchased it, I would like to add lights to this. That'll be a project that probably happens when we do the modularization portion of the sort of renovating this structure. But I would like interior lights on each of the floors, especially that top floor. I think it would look really cool. It would work well with all those windows that are in there. And, if you can see all the switch sort of infrastructure and all the controls in there, with that light and all the windows there, I think that would be awesome. And, I think with power into that particular Mills module, it also opens up the opportunity for some exterior lighting around the structure as well, which I think would be really cool and just sort of kick this structure up another notch. It's already super impressive, but with lights both in it and on it and around it, I think it would be really extra special. So, overall, super happy with how this bridge signal box is coming together. Looking forward to displaying it at an upcoming show and looking forward to seeing how we can integrate it into our layout. But, overall, even with the edits I've made, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. The instructions were fairly easy to follow, and, that made it, easy to go and make edits and part swaps as I needed to. The instructions were not, I would sort of give them probably a 7 out of 10. They were fairly easy to follow. There wasn't any sort of prompts on which parts you were using for a particular step. So you had to look at the image and understand what had changed from the previous one. That was not too bad to do, but just kind of a quality of life thing that, takes a set of instructions from being not bad to follow to, sort of really straightforward and easy and enjoyable. But overall, really happy with how this structure is coming together and looking forward to not only, continuing to work on improving and tweaking this bridge signal box, but also looking forward to building more instruction sets from Bricks on Rails. Like I said, I'll include a link below to their website because they've got a lot of amazing instruction sets there for buildings, trains, both locomotives and train cars. Lots of great stuff to check out, so highly recommend taking a look. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.